So my name is John. This is Power Hour. This is a 60-minute Power Vinyasa yoga practice. Alrighty, so 4-hour practice today. You are going to need, of course, your yoga mat. You might want to grab some water if you'd like, and also maybe just a couple of yoga blocks. I like to use blocks. Usually I use them at the end of practice just to sit on, but they are nice tools to use just to bring the floor a little bit closer to you in some cases. And I'll tell you when you might want to use your blocks. So just have those handy. And if you have any other props that you like to use, like a yoga strap or a blanket or a pillow or anything like that, feel free to use those. I won't be using anything else in particular, maybe those blocks, but that's about it. All right. I'd like to invite you to stand in mountain pose, and as we do so, I'll just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in our practice today. So I've called this class the Humble Warrior. The Humble Warrior. So there is a yoga pose called Humble Warrior. And in the posture, not only does it work your shoulders and your hips, but it's a bowing sensation. You're folding forward. And in yoga, we can think of bowing as a way of honoring. We might be honoring a person, honoring a thing. But I'd like to think that when we're bowing, especially in yoga, we're also bowing to ourselves. It's a way of acknowledging ourselves. We always put everyone and everything else first. Sometimes we get put in the back of the line. So this is a way to bring yourself forward and to acknowledge all your traits, your strengths, your challenges, everything that's about you, and bring them to the surface. All your strengths, abilities, right here. So we get to celebrate that. So as you come to mountain pose, maybe standing with your feet about hip distance apart, toes pointing forward here, we can begin our practice. You just want to establish a nice steady stance here, well balanced, feeling rooted and grounded and connected. Maybe a few deep breaths with that. And then with the upper body, you just want to make sure you're standing nice and tall. You can feel that lengthening through your spine. You might even roll your shoulders back and down and relaxed. And your arms can just hang down nicely down by your side. You can keep your neck nice and long. Your head is just level, looking forward, but you're welcome to close your eyes or even just soften your eyes or just close your eyes. If you'd like, just hold in stillness. Or if you'd like, since we are going to be using shoulders a little bit in our practice, you can go ahead and make some gentle circles, which I'm going to do now. Just circling backward gently, just to kind of loosen up in the shoulders. Roll them backward, roll them forward. And then just make your way back into stillness, focusing on your breath. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. As you're breathing, you want to feel the breath move through your entire body. It's a great way to acknowledge yourself. Imagine or really feel your breath moving through your entirety. And if you're able, breathe in a way so that you can also hear your breath. Listen to the sound of your breath. It helps you to be more aware, focused, helps you to concentrate. Very nice. Let's just hold for a few more moments. Slow, deep breaths. Go ahead and take 3 more slow, deep breaths as we now prepare our bodies to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach all the way up. Nice stretch. And exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and make your way down towards your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs so you can extend your spine, long, flat back. Exhale, we're going to come back down to a forward fold. We're going to hold here for a moment. So this is our first bowing position, standing forward fold. So bowing to yourself, honoring yourself.
And at the same time, of course, we're getting a nice stretch through your hamstrings. We also want to shift your weight slightly forward towards your toes. You might even need to grip your mat with your toes so you don't fall over. And with that gripping, you're going to feel energy in the backs of your legs, maybe your calves, hamstrings, and lower glutes. Hands can just rest here at your shins or ankles. Maybe your toes, or touching your toes with your fingertips. You can even hang heavily forward here as well. Another opportunity to maybe shake out your shoulders, a gentle movement in your head and neck, just being aware of any tension or tightness in the body that you can release. Let's inhale and slide your hands back up to your knees or thighs, extending the spine. Let's hold here as we exhale. Now your weight is probably still forward, so start to shift your weight back into your heels. And now your toes are light. Then bend your knees and feel your hips drop like you're sitting down into a low chair. Start to look forward and sweep your arms out and up as you stand up tall. Inhale, reach for the sky, big stretch there. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side right here. Good. Hold for a moment, take a breath. We're going to do that same sequence again. Half salute to the sun. When you're ready, inhale, extend your arms into the air. And exhale, we'll fold forward. Again, a good hinge from hips, bent knees, making your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, fully extended spine. Exhale, back down to our forward fold. Once again, we're going to hold. Another thing you could do is maybe you can touch your toes or touch the ground or even bring your hands behind you, maybe just below your calves. Shift your weight forward towards toes, grip your mat with your toes, feel the engagement in your legs. From here, just inhale and just extend your spine. You're not lifting necessarily, just try to get longer in your torso. Exhale, pull belly in and fold a little deeper. Since you're holding onto your legs, you can kind of draw yourself downward. Right here. You can also continue to roll your shoulders or shake your head gently. One reason why we're doing that is to being aware of any tension in the body, any obstacles in the body, things that are in our way that obstruct our vision and truly seeing ourselves. So we want to kind of pull those curtains to the side so that we can see the brightness. All right, start to shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees, sitting down into your imaginary chair, looking forward. Sweep your arms out and up, standing up nice and tall. Reach for the sky. This exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Another opportunity to acknowledge yourself by bringing your hands to heart center. Take a couple of breaths. And we're going to continue with our sun salutation, starting with Series A. Here we go. Inhale, sweep the arms into the air. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward with bent knees, making your way down towards toes. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the top of your head lead you forward. On your exhale, bend your knees enough to place your palms on your mat. Walk or step or even hop both feet back into plank pose. We'll pause in plank as you inhale. And exhale, bend your knees slightly. Lift your hips into the air. I just call this a shortcut to downward facing dog. Just kind of step into the pose, adjust your toes, adjust your feet, adjust your hands. We can even consider downward facing dog another bowing position, slightly different from a standing forward fold, but it could be thought of as a bowing sensation. You can even pedal your feet here if you like, just to get a little bit more stretch through your calves and your toes. This might also affect the ankles, the soles of your feet, noticing that your knees are bending and maybe your hips are shifting side to side. And also be sure your hands are still pressing firmly at the top of your mat. Hands are flat, arms are strong. Let's take a nice full breath in, ready to move. As you exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bent knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to move right away into Series B. Let's just keep the body in motion. Inhale, reach into the air, big stretch. Exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Let's hold here for a few breaths. Weights in the heels. See if you can easily tap your toes. You want to have an energy of your hips moving back towards the back edge of your mat. And to maintain balance, you're reaching out through your arms. Let's breathe in. And then we'll exhale to dive forward, back down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, rising up halfway, flat back. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground, hop or step back, plank pose, and then come right down, Chaturanga Dandasana, finishing your push-up. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Make some quick adjustments with feet and maybe your hands settling into down dog. And we'll continue with our lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up, reaching back through your toes. Exhale, let's bring right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the ground behind you. Find balance here. So there's good weight and pressure in that back foot. So the hands will become light. So you can inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands down to the ground. Let's step back, plank pose. Finishing your push-up. Feel the elbows squeeze in towards your ribs. That'll help stabilize the body as well. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg into the air, reaching back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground, shifting the weight back, pressure into that back foot. Less pressure in the hands so you can easily rise. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, folding. Plant the hands into your mat. Let's step back, plank pose, finishing your push-up. You can rise to up dog or cobra pose if you'd like. And then downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. Then we're going to make our way down to the ground. With a good exhale, you can hop forward, cross your legs and take a seat, or just kneel down. Take a seat in the center of your mat. We're going to go ahead and lie down. I'm just going to adjust my mat quickly, then I'll join you. So just lie down with knees bent and feet flat on the ground, just like this. Before we move into our bridge pose, just take a moment right here. Just relax into the ground. Take a few breaths. Just another way to focus on breathing. Notice how you're feeling. And remember, we're starting to kind of move away those obstacles, peel away the veil that may be obstructing all those great qualities about yourself. All right, let's take a nice full breath in. Fill up your lungs. As you exhale, engage your belly so you can lift your hips up into the air, placing us into bridge pose. This is kind of the first part. You can stay just like this. Here's a place where you could use your blocks. Slide your blocks underneath you and sit on your blocks. Or just keep pressing feet into the ground, lifting hips. You can even use your upper body. I like to get my shoulders a bit underneath me. I rock the upper body left and right a little bit. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Get those shoulders underneath you. And then press the backs of the arms, your triceps, your elbows, down into the ground, which will help to lift the upper body and stabilize the pose. Let's take a few breaths. Here we're opening the heart. Whenever we're doing back bends, this is bridge pose. These are heart openers. Another way to kind of reveal and open. Another way to acknowledge ourselves. 3 more breaths. When you're ready to move, just wiggle your toes forward a little bit. We're just making space in the low back. And then extend your arms into the air. That'll get the shoulders out from underneath you. And then roll your way down to the ground. Right there. Let's bring knees to chest. A little hug. And gently start rocking forward and back. Enough momentum with a good exhale to rock your way up to seated. Okay, we're not going to boat just yet. Let's take a seat. You might want to scoot back a little bit to extend the legs. All right, you're going to flex your feet here. So you have nice straight legs. Hands on the ground by your hips. Just push into the ground to help extend spine. Roll shoulders back. And if you are able, squeeze shoulder blades together. So this is just staff pose. Couple breaths here. Nice long spine. Feel like you're really light up top. There's an energy moving through the crown of your head towards the ceiling. There's even an energy moving through your heels towards the front of the room. So forward and up. Let's keep that upward sensation with an inhale and extend the arms up into the air. We're going to take this into a fold. As you exhale, just bring your arms, just your arms, down in front. Just let your hands rest on your legs. We're going to inhale, sit up as tall as can be. Exhale, pull belly in. Just take a step down the legs towards your shins, perhaps, and start to fold. Start to hinge at the hips just a little bit. Inhale, more extension through the spine. Just grow long at this angled body. Exhale, pull belly in, and another step forward. Now it's okay if your back starts to round, and you can even put a slight bend in your knees. If you're able to reach your toes, you can just reach out and grab hold of your feet if you want, or the hands can just rest here on your legs. And of course, we are in a seated forward fold. Seated forward fold. A bowing sensation. It's okay to even lower your chin. Let the back round, and that might even provide and create sensation in your back, maybe a nice stretch. If I reach out towards my feet here, elongating through the arms, I can really feel this through my whole upper back, even the back part of the shoulders, and then taking a deep breath and trying to expand the upper back. Feels really good. As you exhale, just pull belly in for a little extra support. Inhale to expand your back. Exhale. One more time. Good. If you're touching the legs or the feet, just reach forward now with the hands. Inhale, rise back up to our L shape right there. Exhale, bring your hands back down by your hips. Push into the ground, lengthen spine, roll shoulders back. Just a quick return to our staff pose right there. Then we'll take this to boat pose. So we're going to start to bend the knees. Heels can stay on the ground. Keep your feet flexed. Make sure your neck is your spine is nice and long right here. And start to hinge your way back, something like this, at a good angle. Inhale to find more length through the whole upper body. Exhale, engage belly. And then flow to the feet up, just like that. Maybe your shins are now parallel to the ground. You can maintain a hold on the legs as you hold the posture. Or if you found balance and strength here, you can release the legs. Either one. Boat pose, Navasana. We're going to breathe in. And exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Hold for a second. We'll take our shortcut to down dog, a slight bend of knees, hips into the sky. Let's do another lunging sequence. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up, reach long, hold for a second. We're going to bend the knee. Bend your right knee, bring your heel down towards your backside, lifting the knee a little bit to open up through the hips. We're going to exhale, unwind it, and step through. Left heel turns to the ground. We're going back to our warrior one. So we're rising up, reach for the sky. And now we're opening with an exhale to warrior two. Right there. Good, nice lunge, outstretched arms. Let's hold here for a moment. Warrior two. Now I talked about the name of this class. It's called Humble Warrior, the Humble Warrior. So we're getting close to that Humble Warrior. Okay, not just yet, but we want to make sure that we are fully present in Warrior Two because it's a nice opening posture and a lot of strength. So just tap into your own inner strength. Let's take this to side angle. So you're going to reach out over your right leg, angled upper body, and then rotate your arms. Bring right hand down and left hand up, just like this. If you'd like, you can go lower, so your right hand can actually come down to the ground, or this is where you could bring in those blocks and just set your hands on your stacked blocks. Or your arm can just brace on the inner right leg. This is what I typically do. And nice breaths in and out. More expansion and opening through the body. Let's take a breath in. And we'll exhale, we'll turn so we can bring the hands back down to the ground. We're going to step back into plank pose, but keep the right foot lifted. Right foot lifted. Just reach back through your toes towards the back of the room. Okay. One more breath in. As you exhale, just set those toes onto the ground. Shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a bit, hips into the air. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg into the sky. Hold, long extension. Then bend your left knee, bring your heel down towards backside, lifting the knee for a hip opener. Breathe in if you'd like right there. As we exhale, we'll unwind it and we'll step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Grounding, balanced. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. And exhale, warrior two. Same thing. Let's hold for a moment. Really situate ourselves into this strength building practice or pose. Lots of energy here. Outstretched arms. We build endurance, strength. Side angle. Let's reach out over this left leg. Rotate your arms. Left hand down, right hand up. Okay, same thing. You can bring the blocks in, bring your hand, left hand down to the blocks or the ground, or stay modified, a little up higher if you'd like. Nice energy of this right hand reaching for the ceiling. Let's breathe in, and we'll exhale. We'll turn so we can bring the hands back down to the ground. Step back, plank pose, keeping left foot lifted, reaching back, crown leading forward. So you're moving in opposite directions. Inhale. As you exhale, just set those toes onto the ground. Hold. And then bring both knees to the ground. Both knees down underneath your hips. Take a moment for cat and cow. So it starts with cow pose, which is an inhale, arching the back. It creates a little back bend, so you're looking slightly up or forward. Exhale, round it out. So you tuck your chin in towards your chest, round it back. And just kind of undulate through these two poses. The inhale to look forward, exhale to round it all out. Paying attention to this nice undulation through the spine. Also be aware of that rocking sensation in your pelvis. We create a back bend in cow pose and that rounded back sensation in cat. Also in cat pose, the exhale, make sure your belly button is pulling up towards your spine. So it's just some things to be aware of. Take one more breath in and out. We'll finish in this little tabletop position, holding. All right, from here, you're going to tap your right foot and then swing the right foot off to the right side a little bit. We're making what I call a kickstand, just a place of support. Extend the left leg straight back, keeping the toes on the ground. We're going to open up sideways here for side plank, just like this. A variation since we've got the knee onto the ground. Reaching straight up. Let's add to this a little bit by taking the left arm overhead, reaching energy through your fingertips. If you want, you can even lift the left foot like this. That's just an option. You can just keep it on the ground. Either way, you do want to flex the left foot. Keep the inside edge of the foot either on the ground or you've lifted the foot in the air. Okay, let's breathe in. We're going to exhale and carefully return. Left hand, left knee. Bring the kickstand back in. One breath, cat and cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Return to your tabletop. And we'll do the other side. So tap the left foot, swing it off to the left side. Extend right leg back, keeping toes on the ground. Open up sideways so left hand stays on the mat as the right arm extends way up into the air. Now we're sideways. Reach up and then overhead, reaching through your fingertips towards the front of the room. Flex the right foot so the inside edge of the foot is on the mat, or if you'd like, lifting the foot off the ground. Again, you're moving in opposite directions. Right hand's reaching over your head and the right foot is reaching behind you. Let's breathe in. As we exhale, we'll bring the right hand and right knee back down to the mat. We'll bring the kickstand back in. One more breath, cat and cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Come back to neutral. Let's do another bowing pose here. It's actually a nice little rest. Take the knees slightly wider than your hips and then sit back and down into child's pose. This will also take some pressure off of the hands after being in that position. Now we're going to make this somewhat active. I'm going to bring in a block right here because I like to bring my forehead down to the block rather than all the way to the ground. And then you can extend your arms way out, like you're reaching out past the front edge of your mat. So it's active. You might feel this in your arms, shoulders, and upper back. There's also a sensation of your hips reaching, perhaps back towards your heels or the back edge of your mat. So again, this movement forward and back at the same time. Moving in opposite directions, which is pretty common in most of our yoga poses. And some deep breaths. So we're going inside once again, thinking about your strengths and talents. honoring yourself in this bowing pose. Let's take 3 more breaths here. All right, we're going to slowly return back up to hands and knees. So I'm just kind of lightening up the arms, but dragging the hands in a little bit so I can come up to hands and knees easily, moving my block out of the way. Let's go back to downward facing dog. So hands forward. I'm just going to bring those knees back in underneath the hips, tuck toes, and with an exhale, lifting hips into the air, down dog. Let's breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend spine. Exhale, fold. Holding for a brief second. Honoring self in our standing forward fold. Weights shifts back into the heels. Bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, grow tall. Reach into the air. Good. Exhale, hands together and down to your heart. Hold for a breath or two. And go ahead and relax your arms down by your side. Go ahead and give your shoulders another shake here, or just roll them. I like to roll them backward. Okay, kind of exaggerate that. You might even bring your shoulders up toward your ears, then pull them back and drop them down, and then do the same thing going forward. Kind of exaggerate that motion. And a little neck work here too. So just feel the ear come down to one shoulder, back up to neutral, and down to the other shoulder. Gentle lengthening through the neck, side parts, okay? All right, something I'd like for you to pay attention to in a moment. Okay, do that one more side or one more time each side. And then we're going to bring the head back up to neutral. Just be sure your head or your chin isn't dropping down, isn't tipped up too high. Okay, the head isn't cocked to one side or the other, but as best as you can, best as your ability, it's long, nice long neck, and you're looking directly forward. Just feel that neutrality. Okay, and it's just kind of keeping everything well connected all the way down through the spine, okay? All right, remember that sensation in the neck, because this next pose, we're going to be thinking about our necks. I'm just going to turn sideways here for a moment and just follow me. We're going to get into another fold, but working with the shoulders now. First, inhale, extend your arms up into the air, reach high. Exhale, bring your arms down slowly. Bring them down towards your side, but then as they get lower, reach behind you like this. Reach as if you're trying to reach for the back corners of your mat. Open hands, reach. Straight arms, you might even feel that in your triceps. And then squeeze inward. Imagine you're holding on to a box perhaps, okay, in between the hands. Again, be aware of your neck. Okay, I notice my head likes to go down a little bit when I reach my arms back. So let's see if we can keep chest proud, neck neutral, gaze forward. As you're able, fold your fingers together. Interlace your fingers. If you're unable to, okay, just keep the hands free and reach. Or if you can fold your fingers and can't straighten your arms, just keep the elbows bent. I'm going to work with folded fingers, so that's the instructions I'll give, okay? Now just reach down towards the ground with your knuckles, even with elbows bent if you need to, keeping that nice long neck. Roll shoulders back or just pull shoulders back so you're squeezing shoulder blades together. Nice open chest. Breathe into the upper chest region. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. Again, breathe in, fill up your lungs. Puffed up chest. Nice way of feeling proud and confident. Exhaling. All right, now put a good bend in the knees here. Let's let them jet forward a little bit. We're going to tip the upper body kind of in an angled position like this, like we're doing chair pose. Now the folded fingers behind you, just lift them slightly away from your low back. Now you're welcome to stay just like this, okay? This is perfect for what we're intending for this pose. But you're welcome to go further down, okay? You can just follow me. So we're inhaling, getting longer in the spine, also through the neck. Remember, keep the neck neutral, like we were still standing tall and looking forward. Breathe in again. Exhale, pull belly in, bend the knees more. But we're going to tip over like we're a tea kettle. So the head is going down. The handle, you can think of it as your hands reaching upward or just slightly away from your back. Okay, now if the head dropped, okay, I'm going to look down. Okay? If you can see between your knees, that means your chin tucked in towards your chest. What you may want to do here is just lift your chin slightly, lengthening through the neck, so you may be looking down at your toes instead. And that will allow your spine to stay long. It might even provide a little bit more opening in your shoulders, and maybe your folded fingers can reach a little bit more overhead. This, of course, is not necessary. You do need a lot of flexibility in the shoulders, maybe to get this far. If your hands are still down near your back, that's still perfect for this posture. Long neck. Okay, 2 more breaths. Okay, another bowing position. This is another piece that's a part of our humble warrior pose that's coming up later. Now bring those folded fingers and hands back down to your low back. Release the fingers, let your arms drop towards the floor so you can shake it out. That's a lot of tension building up in the shoulders and potentially in the neck, so shake it all out. Since we're close to the ground, you can even imagine all that tension is rolling right down into the ground. Okay, shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, hold there for a second, really root your feet into the ground, press. The legs will engage, your feet will feel strong, engage your belly, but this time, if you'd like, roll up rather than hinge up. Just roll through each vertebra, coming up slowly, core engaged. As you get about halfway up, you're going to kind of tuck pelvis underneath, still rolling back up, roll shoulders back. Neck is long, look forward, arms down by your side, returning to your mountain pose. If you need to, shake all of that out. Great job. All right, let's continue. We have more to add on. Okay, back to our mountain pose. Let's flow. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take chair pose again. Weights back in the heels. Breathe in. Exhale, dive out of your seat, down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise up halfway, lengthen spine. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground, hop or step back. Plank, come down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Adjusting. Then inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist open, opening that hip. As you exhale, unwind it and step through. Left heel to the ground behind you. Light hand, so you can inhale, rise up, warrior 1. And an exhale to warrior 2. All right, hold here. Let's just really experience once again the power of warrior 2. Stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to turn around because we're going to get ready for humble warrior. And I want you to see the back side here, okay? Okay, humble warrior. First, you're going to inhale, reach out more through your arms. Exhale, bring your hands down behind you. Now you can just reach like we did in that standing pose, or interlace fingers. I'm going to work with interlace fingers. Reach your knuckles down towards the ground. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Now you're going to start turning your torso towards this front right knee. Doesn't have to face directly forward over the knee, but just in that general direction, so it's more at an angle. We're going to inhale, puff up the chest. You might even lift your chin up a tiny bit. Exhale, lead with your heart and fold forward. Pause when you're parallel to the ground. Again, those folded fingers just lift a little away from the back. You can stay just like this, or inhale, get a little bit longer. Exhale, dive a little deeper. Maybe those folded fingers reach up a little higher. This is humble warrior. There's a lot of weight and energy in the front body, the foot, the knee, the head. Lots of energy coming this direction. So just be aware of that left foot that's left behind back there, pressing firmly into the ground for balance. Honoring the warrior within you. This is humble warrior. Okay, you're going to lower your arms, release the fingers, bring the hands to the floor, framing the foot. So just bring one hand on either side of your foot. So I'll call that frame your foot. Rise up on your tiptoes behind you. Okay, so we're in a runner's lunge. Press firmly into the ground with the hands so you can slide the right foot back into plank pose. If you like, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist open. Exhale, unwind, step through, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants. Inhale, rise, first warrior. Exhale, opening to Warrior Two. So same thing. Let's first just settle into the Warrior Two position, preparing for your humble warrior. Reach out, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down behind you. Interlace fingers if you're able. Reach for the floor with your knuckles. Shoulders will also drop, but then squeeze shoulder blades together behind you to open up through the chest. Turn your upper body a little bit towards the left knee. You're kind of at an angle. You're maybe pointing. Your heart is pointing in the same direction as the right corner of your yoga mat. We're going to inhale, tip chin up, open the chest. Exhale, lead with your heart and come forward and down. We're hinging at the hips. Pause at parallel to the ground. Inhale, get longer. As you exhale, stay here or dive deeper. Now your head is getting a little lower. See if you can keep the neck long. You could also lower the chin. But if you want to get those hands up a little higher, you want to get the neck neutral so the hands can reach up and overhead if you want. A couple more breaths here. Provide some good weight in the right foot, the foot that's left behind back there. Okay, breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to bring the hands down, release the fingers. Plant the hands on either side of your foot, so frame your foot. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Okay, press into the ground with your hands so you can slide left foot back, plank, and then finish your sequence. Come on down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take another child's pose here, just briefly. Knees down, knees wide. Sit back. Nice quick breather here, okay? Another way just to check in. Because we just did a challenging pose. That humble warrior has some challenges to it because it opens the shoulders, lots of energy in the arms, your wrists. So this is just a way to kind of come back to that baseline and recenter ourselves and remember our intention. Just 2 more breaths. You're welcome to stay here longer if you like, no worries. We're going to make our way back up whenever you're ready. We're just going to make our way into downward facing dog whenever you're ready to join. Hands are forward slightly, bringing the knees in a little bit underneath the hips, tucking toes, and with an exhale, downward facing dog. Another lunge sequence. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up, reach back through your toes. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to high lunge this time. So left heel stays lifted, all 10 toes pointing forward, but you may need to shift the weight back a bit. So again, you're balanced. Hands are light, so you can inhale, rise up, high lunge. So we're here. Reaching high, and if you can, lunge low. Hug to center. Okay, this is how you do that. First, pull belly in. Also squeeze legs towards center, like you're holding on to maybe a block between your knees. And then even imagine you're holding on to a box between your hands above you. Now we're going to hinge forward a little bit. Stay centered though, we're just hinging. Okay, reaching out through the hands, but then you're going to bring your hands behind you. Reach. You can just reach like this, or if you can, interlace fingers. Okay, we're going to go to a little bit of a balance. I'm just going to kind of step this left foot forward. I need to adjust my body. We're kind of stepping the left foot forward a little bit so we can start putting more weight into this front foot. And as you're able, getting the weight forward so you can just kind of just feel that left foot just float off the ground. So we got a little bit of a balancing position right here. The knuckles are reaching back for your pointed toes. Strong right leg as we balance, long torso, lengthen neck. Bend the left knee, bring it in or forward, and then step left foot down next to the other. You'll be in a chair pose. But as we stand, release the fingers from behind, reach up into the air, and then fold forward, swan dive. Monkey pose, halfway lift. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground, hop or step back plank, just stay in plank, and just take a shortcut to down dog. Do the exact same thing other side. So it's an inhale to extend left leg straight up and back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge, be sure to shift your weight back. Right heel's lifted. Rise when you're ready. Arms up into the air. Reach up, lunge low, hug to center. Legs, belly, and arms. Hold. We're going to hinge forward a little bit. We're Reach behind you with your hands. You can stay just reaching. Maybe I'll do the reaching part. I'm not going to fold fingers. I'm just going to reach. Now I'm really balanced. I'm really centered here, so it's hard to get all the weight into the front foot. So what I really need to do is actually kind of step forward with that back foot enough so I can put more pressure into the left foot. So the right foot becomes light and I can just lift it. Pointed toes, reaching back, hands reaching back. I'm just reaching through my hands. You can have fingers folded if you want. It's almost like a little bird. I think of a bird in this posture. Bend the right knee, bring it forward, step right foot down next to the other. We're in a chair pose with hands reaching behind, and then stand up, reaching into the air, big stretch. Exhale, hands together, and down at your heart. Wonderful. Let's take a couple breaths there. All right. So those are really the pieces to our humble warrior flow. Let's take a couple more breaths here, and let's go ahead and put our flow together. Here we go. We're going to inhale, extend both arms up into the air. Exhale, just swan dive forward, all the way down towards toes. So standing forward fold, an honoring position. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bend knees, hands to the ground, hop or step back, plank pose, coming right down, chaturanga. Inhale to your upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist open. Exhale, right foot up to the top of the mat. Left heel to the ground behind you. Find that balance. Rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open warrior two. We're going right away to our humble warrior. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, bring the hands down behind you. Reach or interlace fingers. Reach knuckles towards the ground. Roll shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Turn torso towards front knee. We're going to inhale, tip chin up, open up through the chest. Exhale, fold. Now you can pause at parallel or just keep coming down. Here's another thing you can do. Now your torso can just rest or touch the right leg, no worries, or swing completely away from that leg, no touching, and go a little deeper if you're able and if you want to. Long neck, outstretched arms, bowing. Okay, we're going to bring the arms down, release the fingers, bring the hands to the floor, frame your front foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Press hands into the ground so you can slide right foot back, plank, right foot lifted. Reach, extend. With that lifted leg, you're going to bend that knee. Bring the knee to the ground directly underneath your hip. Okay, we're going to our side plank. Swing your right foot off to the right side, making a kickstand. Open up sideways. Left hand up into the air. Reach, then overhead. Extend. Flex left foot. Keep it on the ground or lift, either one. Reach. Inhale right there. Exhale, we're just going to bring the left hand and left knee back down to the ground. Bring kickstand back in. Cat and cow 2 times. There's 1. And 2. Hold your cat pose. Tuck your toes, lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Shifting weight back for balance. Hands are light so you can easily float up into the air. High lunge. Sit into the pose, reach up high. Then we're going to hinge forward slightly. Bring the arms behind you, reach or interlace fingers. Okay, we're getting ready for our little bird pose that I just made up. We need to get weight into the front foot. So you can just lift the left foot behind, reaching through your toes, straight back leg. Balanced, like your arms reaching behind you or like your wings. Free as a bird here. Bend the left knee, bring it forward so you can step down, chair pose with arms behind you. We're going to stand up tall, release the fingers, arms up into the air, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive. That completes the first side. Forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, hands to the ground, hop or step back. Plank, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist open. As we exhale, we unwind, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat, right heel to the ground behind. Rise, first warrior. Exhale, warrior 2, settle in.
Preparing for humble warrior, our bowing position. Breathe in, reach out. Exhale, hands down behind you, interlace fingers if you're able. Knuckles reach for the floor, shoulders down. Roll shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Turning torso towards right corner of the mat. Inhale, lift chin, open chest, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Pause at parallel or keep going down, touching the leg or swinging past that leg to go a little lower and deeper. Keep the neck long if you are trying to get the hands up a little higher. Again, don't force this. Humble warrior. Take a moment to experience the pose. Then bring hands down behind you. Release the fingers. Palms to the ground. Frame your front foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Press hands into the ground. Step left foot back. Plank, left foot lifted. Extend opposite directions. Bend that left knee. Set the knee down underneath the hip. Make a kickstand with the left foot. Open up sideways. Okay. Right hand reaching into the air. Flexed right foot. The inside edge of the foot can stay on the ground. Okay. Or reach overhead with the right hand. Lift the right foot or keep it on the ground. Extending these opposite directions. This is also another nice hip opener. Let's breathe in. Exhale, return to the ground. Hand and knee. Kickstand comes back in. Cat, cow 2 times. Same thing. Arching the back. Rounding the back. Just re-extending or feeling that nice undulation through the spine. This also creates space in the body. Hold cat pose on the second exhale. Tuck toes. Return to down dog. Inhale, extend left leg straight up into the air behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Find that balance, then rise. Float your arms up into the air. Reach high, lunge low, hold. Hug to center, feel that energy. Hinge forward about 45 degrees. Take the hands behind you, create your wings, reach. Okay, shifting weight into the left foot until you can float the right foot into the air. Just a few inches off the ground is fine. You can see the left knee in front is still bent. Lots of energy and strength in that front leg. Feel like that free bird. Bend the right knee, bring the knee forward. Set the foot down next to the other. There's our chair pose with our wings. Stand up tall, reach for the sky. We're going to keep it flowing on your exhale, swan dive. Leading with your heart, soft knees touching the ground. Inhale, re-extend spine, flat back. Exhale, bend knees, hands to the ground, hop or step back plank. Come on down if you like, chaturanga. Choose your cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more child's pose. Knees to the ground. Take knees wide. Sit back. You can keep it active or even soften the body. A few breaths here. Now you might be slightly out of breath, just a little. All that movement and that flow, that nice series. So just take some deep breaths here, settling back in. Now you could relax this pose even more. With the arms out front, it's very active, but you can also bring the hands kind of down by your side like this, which allows your back and your shoulders really to relax. You can even I have my head on my block, but you can even bring forehead down to the ground, which even makes this even more relaxed. Sometimes we call this embryo. Hold here. Find your breathing. Maybe we made a little bit more space in our hearts, in our bodies, our minds, acknowledging all the wonderful things about yourself. 3 more breaths. From here, you're going to slowly rise up, holding just for a few seconds here in hero pose. It's another way of honoring, because the postures that we do are warrior postures. And this is kind of I would say, a cousin to those warrior postures. Hero pose. Alrighty. We're going to go ahead and just slide off to the side here so we can bring the legs around to the front. Find the center of your mat to take a seat, and then once again lie down.
And once again, just moving into a back bend. Now you can go to a full back bend if you want, by taking the hands up by your shoulders and just pressing all the way up, or return to bridge pose like we did earlier. So with an inhale, we fill up the breath, or fill up your lungs. Exhaling, engaging the belly, lifting hips up into the air. Use your arms. Maybe get those shoulders again underneath you, squeezing shoulder blades together. Root down into the ground with feet and arms. Nice opening through the front body. Continued opening through your heart space. Even if you're in that full wheel pose, that full back bend, nice opening up through the whole front side of your body. Just 3 more breaths. All right, after that third breath, you can just make your way back down to the earth. If you're in bridge, just wiggle your toes forward. You can extend your arms up into the air and then roll your way down. From here, go ahead and extend your body, extend the legs out front. And if you have room behind you, reach behind you. Lengthen in these opposite directions, making more space in the body. And after one more breath, go ahead and hug both knees back into chest. You might add a little movement here. I like to circle the knees, which affects the low back and hips for me. And it just feels nice. You can just hold in stillness if you'd like, or add this motion. Even a little rocking left and right and forward and back is nice. And then whenever you're ready, just take a hip opening posture. It might be happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose, or just some variation of a hip opener that would feel nice for you. Okay, this is happy baby pose. You can even do this one leg at a time, which is also nice. So you might release one leg, extend it out onto the floor as you work one leg, maybe take a series of breaths and then switch. If you can't reach your feet in this posture, you can just hold on to your ankles. There's also reclining cobbler's pose. I'll move into that now. One version of this is to keep the feet in the air. Okay, so you press the soles of the feet together, hold on to the feet in the air, but then gently feel or press the heels down toward your pelvis while the knees or legs move or press forward, and this opens up the hips. So this is one version. This is the typical version. Then there's a relaxed version of taking the feet down to the ground. So the soles of the feet are still touching, okay, each other, but they're on the ground. And the legs can just kind of naturally fall open. So just a few breaths, just finishing up your hip openers. And then you can bring knees to center, hug them in towards chest. We'll finish up with a twist. We'll start by taking the knees over to the left side. Extend your right arm over to the right side. Gentle rotation. Notice this in your hips, your low back, your spine. You might even take a moment to, again, notice your breathing. Notice now if you're able to take those slow, deep breaths. Whenever you're ready, just return to center. You might even pause in center for a moment to help realign the body after that first rotation. And then down to the other side. Knees to the right, left arm reaching to the left. Rotation in the spine. Deep breaths. Maybe just 2 more breaths on this side. Then making your way back to center. As you're hugging the knees in towards your body, you can just decide what you would like to do next. If there's any other movement or pose or stretch, anything like that that you'd like to add right here, even a repeat of of a pose we've already done or you've already done, you can do that again. Or go ahead and move into Shavasana. Just take these last few minutes of our practice to fully release and relax. Legs out front, relax your feet, legs and hips. Arms can come down by your side so your back can relax, your arms, your shoulders, your neck, and your head. And just return to that nice, slow, deep breathing. And if you're still in motion, just take your time with those added movements in the body, and then eventually making your way to Shavasana or any other restorative position where you can relax in stillness. Breathing slowly and deeply. Noticing if you were able to kind of pull away the veil, opening yourself up to the brightness within you. Feel free to stay here as long as you need to. Certainly no rush to move. Even as I complete the practice, you're welcome to stay right here. Whenever you feel it's time to move, start with your breath. Just take 5 slow breaths in and out, beginning to generate energy in your body so you can move. After your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, carefully roll onto either side of your body. We'll pause in this nurturing pose. It will resemble a fetal position. We'll hold here for several breaths. In a way, it's another nurturing or another honoring pose, symbolizing nurturing yourself, a symbol of self-care and love. Taking your time, certainly no rush, making your way up to a seated position. Nice long spine, maybe crossing your legs. Maybe just one more roll of the shoulders back and down. Arms can just relax down by your side. Hands can just rest on your knees or in your lap or even at your heart center. A couple breaths. And then one final movement. We'll inhale, extend arms up into the air, reach high. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Once your hands are at heart center, just take one more breath in and out on your own, holding in stillness. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow, saying, Namaste.